Hey you all, welcome back to Soldier Farms. I'm Jim. We're back in the shop today and we are in the home stretch with the assembly of the long mill. I'm going to review the instructions for installing the limit switches and we'll move over to the bench and get started. Alrighty, so the first sensor that we're going to install, we're doing our limit switches today, or inductive sensors, as Longmill has, or CNC Labs has decided to call them. So the first one we're doing is the Z or Z axis. So I'm going to put you right here where you can see. Go ahead and install this Z or Z axis inductive sensor. And so the first thing I need to do is take it out of the package. And this is the sensor. The wire is pre-wired. It has 2 lock washers and 2 nuts. And so first of all, we're going to just mount the sensor, and then we will go from there. Alright, so first thing, I have the sensor. I have two of these lock nuts and 2 of these. And so I'm going to lay my packaging aside. And the instructions said put 1 nut on and roll it back about 3/4 of an inch. So I think we're going to go there. And then we'll put this lock washer on. And we are going to position our sensor here in such a way that we are not proud of this. So that is our first sensor in place. I will go ahead and, where's my marker? So I am going to pause and move on to the next switch after I review the instruction. Okay, for our next sensor, we're going to do the x-axis. So we'll open this bag. And here is our sensor. And this hardware I'm going to pour in here so I don't have to chase it. Because I don't like to chase hardware. Alright, so this guy will be in the drag chain. So we're going to crank this on about 3/4 of an inch again. Lock washer. Put the cable for the Z back there. And install that lock washer. Install the nut. And in this case, I'm going to leave this switch right here. And then when we power up the machine, our first move is going to be with the Z, and then the X, and then the Y. And the Y switch will be around here. So I need to go ahead and mark this as X on both sides. All right, X, X. And now, because of where all this is located, I have to push the Y-axis back a little bit because our sensor needs to mount right down here. So sensor requires this mount. So we're going to go ahead and do that over here so you can see what's going on. Go back over to the computer and take a look and see what our next step is. Alrighty, we are at the next part of our project. We are going to need our e-stop. Cable. Need the control box, which is this super longboard controller, which we will. And so this is our controller. This is the super longboard, and we will get into the next steps with this in just a few minutes. I've got everything laid out in its proximal positions. I am going to relocate this hardware to over here because I will want that e-stop button where I can access it, because it has other controls on. It has a 1, a 2, and a 3, and a couple of lights. So we're going out on a limb and assume that this is, not just the emergency stop. So I will put this where I can get to it quickly. Cool. Okay. So I am going to go and read our first step, and I'll be right back. Okay, for this part, it's going to be very fiddly and have a lot of steps. Okay, this is a part where I need to stop the video for now. I will just continue when I get the next step done, but what I need to do is go and get the laptop that I bought to run the CNC, and I need to install the G-Sender software to get my to get ready to test the machine, and then we'll come back. Hey you all, welcome back to Soldier Farms. I'm Jim. I'm in the shop today, continuing our work on the Longmill project. This intro is going to probably be about 20 minutes into the existing video. We'll see how long that gets, because I am trying to wrap it up today, but there are some steps I hadn't considered that are probably going to take a little time, so we may have to break it up just for longevity's sake. I can hold an audience out to about 15 minutes, 17 minutes is pushing it on an edited video. Over an hour, I don't see anyone watching. So anyway, let's get into it. So what we're doing, let me angle you down here so you can see. And I'm sorry I can't get you much closer than this for now. I can take care of that when I break. But our work is going to be over here right now. I need to finish running some wires and then connect the machine to the laptop so that we can do a test run or a test firing, or however you want to say that. And then after that, it's going to be buttoning everything up, attaching the long mill to the table, and all of those sort of things. So for now, I'm going to read my first instruction and get back with you. Okay, I have connected the limit switch wires to the super longboard controller. We still have the faceplate off of the longboard. I have not run all the wires through the Y-axis drag chain because we are going to turn on and home the machine, and the machine is set to home in the front left corner so that it's easier to reach everything, because that's quite a distance to the back of the table. So we're going to have it home up here, and then we're going to verify that all of our switches work and our controller works, and then we'll button everything up. And I mean, nobody wants to watch me sit here and do cable ties. So as long as the machine works, then we'll be done. And I'll briefly touch on buttoning up these cables, and then, you know, I can run wire and zip ties and all that stuff off camera. But here we are, and we're on the move. Alright, I'm gonna log in and get everything going. So our first instruction here is to take the USB cable and connect it first to the longboard and then to the computer. We have other hardware here, not quite sure what that is. We'll get into that. So, and the USB is on the same end of the box as the e-stop connection. And I will neaten up all these wires later. This is just so we can get started. All right. And now, all right, we're going to plug in the machine. And these zip ties are great for all of this, or these twist ties are great for moving this stuff around, but now that it's kind of in its permanent spot, I'm going to zip tie everything and make as neat a mess as I can out of all of it. All right, we have power. And here is the magic moment where we turn it on. Oops. It was already on. All right. Now, here is our starter bit set, and there's our 1/8 inch quarter to 1/8 collet. All right, that's good. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open the Auto Zero touch plate. It should just be a plug and play device. because they certainly make it look like a very easy thing to do. Boy, that's pretty. Look at that. Holy moly. So bright and shiny. Nice. So your Z-axis you want to touch here. And that's probably supposed to be the corner of your material. And I'm great with that. But it may touch here the first time because it's the first time. So we're going to unlock or undo the cable here. And like all of these things, we'll have to find neat, organized, easy places to be. Alright, so we're going to move all of this. Alright, let's... And that one did it too. So I'm going to see how I need to enable these sensors. I'll be right back. Alrighty, it is the next day. I've gotten home from school. I've traded a couple of emails with the agent who's been helping me through this process with the Longmill, and the hardware that I've received is the proper hardware. Those little clips we talked about at the end of the last section of the video were for a previous build. So what this took was some fiddling, which is not a surprise. This has not been a hard build, it's been a fiddly build. So let me angle you over here, get you some down, because down is what you're going to need. This sensor right here, I mounted it on to the right of the stepper motor, and what it took, and it'll probably be okay over here on the left side as everything is mounted to the left, but that second lock washer, the one that goes on the front, I took that off, and then I put the nut on, and I squared the nut up as best I could so that there were two flat sides at 9 and 3 if it's a clock face, and then my Z or Z axis would travel all the way up. So that cleared the issue that we were having with not being able to reach the top. And from then I moved to another sensor, to the to this sensor under here, the one that's mounted on the little piece of angle. And I didn't account for the thing that trips the sensor to be the cap of the bolt that holds the little V-wheel on. So I moved it forward and it hit and didn't stop. So what we obviously need to do was back up the rail and adjust that so that it was in the proper space. This one seems to have been fine on the x-axis. So anyway, let me straighten this up and I'll show you what we got. I'm going to go ahead and hit the home button on the software screen. Alright, we are home. So the next part of our video will be squaring and attaching the machine to the table. So I'm going to call this video done. I will get it edited and posted, and then I will have one more where we will square the machine and we will try a project. Thank you very much.